Welcome back. You're listening to Get Real with Bob and Stacey, and you're joining us for our Leaders and Legends segment. Our guest joining us by phone today is Christina Daves, serial entrepreneur and president of PR for Anyone. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So I want to give everybody a little bit of background on Christina. She is, as you mentioned, a serial entrepreneur who has founded and run 5 successful companies over the last 20 years. With no resources remaining when she launched her latest venture, Cosmetic Designs, Christina taught herself everything she could about generating her own publicity, which basically provided her free advertising for her business. Since launching in 2012, she has appeared in over 250 media outlets, including national and local television and publications. As a result of this success, she launched PR for Anyone, which you can find at prforanyone.com, to help other small business owners have similar success. Together with her clients, Christina has generated over 7 figures in sales relating to free publicity. By the way, she has also written a couple of ebooks, including Top Secret PR and Social Media Tips for Realtors. And we're excited to have you. Can you tell us, Christina, a little bit about the product that you recently launched, and how did you go about getting free PR for that product?
Right. So I invented a product. I broke my foot, and I was put in that big, awful, ugly medical boot, and I wanted to make it look better, and there was nothing on the market, so I created this fashion line for it. But when I launched it, I didn't realize that I had created a whole new space in the marketplace, and I couldn't afford advertising, and I couldn't afford a PR firm. So I basically taught myself this DIY PR, and after, a lot of failure, I started to have tremendous success and realized that, wow, when you go on national television with your product, you sell a lot of it. So I wanted more and more, and I just figured out how to do it locally and nationally, and then other entrepreneurs, in my community, I'm in all these groups, and they're like, how are you doing this? You've got to show us how to do it. So that's how PR for Anyone was born and launched, and I actually have a book by the same title, PR for Anyone, which is just full of tips of everything that I did to have the success that I did.
Wow, that's awesome. So what is the first step you took in order to find PR? Like, how did you even know what to do?
Yeah, I did 2 things. There's a resource called Harrow. I don't know if you guys...
That's how we got you.
That's
how we got you on today, I think, yes.
Yeah. But it's Help a Reporter Out. I'm a huge proponent. They've told me I'm one of their biggest success stories. But I started to respond to these queries, and a lot of it's national. And that's actually how I got on the Steve Harvey show. But that was the first step.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah. Do you have a product you want to take to the next level? National television. So, of course, I responded. And it was interesting because I didn't hear back for several months. And then when I did, I had to go through a process of interviews and videos and that kind of a thing. But it ultimately resulted in an appearance on the show, and I actually won his Inventors competition. So it was a big cash payout too.
Wow, that is crazy. That's amazing. So so out of like the 250 media outlets you've been on, etc., are most of those from Harrow, or is it all different sources that you're going to?
It's all different. I have gotten quite a bit of national publicity through Harrow. So, again, I'm a huge proponent. That's how I met a producer on the Dr. Oz show, and I ended up on there, and I've been in Forbes and Entrepreneur, and, again, just places that have helped explode both businesses. But then the next thing is local, especially if you're a local business, figuring out how to make yourself newsworthy and standing out in the crowd so that you can get that local media coverage, because say you're a local florist and, the Today Show, it would be great, but you're much better off if you're in your local gazette or your regional paper so that your customers know you exist.
Yes, absolutely. So how much time do you spend each day, even for your business now, looking for new PR sources?
I do. I tell everybody, because everybody says, I don't have time for it. I probably spend 15 minutes a day because I have these systems put in place.
Yes.
I do boilerplates for Harrow. Once you've done your homework, and in fact, I just emailed my assistant because I did a local pitch, and the email bounced back, and that person left our CBS station, and with a pick up the phone, make one quick phone call, and she found the new morning producer for me.
Wow, that's awesome.
So it really is. Yeah, it's real. And I always tell people, you have Google and the telephone. They're amazing resources. Use them.
That's very true.
So what are your thoughts on hiring a publicist or PR company? Do you think that small businesses don't need it, that they can do it all on their own?
I have no background in PR, and I've had this much success. So I tell people, PR firms are very, very expensive, and they'll tell you flat out there's no guarantees.
Right.
And I don't think anyone is more passionate about their business than the business owner themselves. And I have gotten publicity in places I never should have because I got the right person on the phone, and they were like, oh, my gosh, you're so passionate about this product. Let's see what we can do to help you. I just think it's worth the investment of time to do it yourself versus hiring a firm to do it for you. And now with Google and Twitter and LinkedIn, it's easy to do. You don't have to hire someone. It used to be that they had the Rolodex. They had the contacts. You can build your own relationships. I've done it. I do it every day.
And that's interesting because for our own businesses, we can pitch it better than anybody else, including a publicist.
Yep.
Wow.
I agree.
So
completely agree.
Also have a website, gmctips.com, which is basically a site to help people get more clients. Do you have any advice for, say, real estate professionals or entrepreneurs on how to get more clients?
Yeah, one of the best things you can do, and I'll use an example of a realtor that I worked with. We have a whole program that teaches you ways to become newsworthy, and one of them is celebrity sales. So I had a realtor that took one of my courses, and she had, if you remember from Terminator fame, Linda Hamilton, happened to own a farm here in Virginia, and she got the listing. And I said, well, you need to pitch that to the papers. And she said, oh, I can't do that. I said, ask Linda what she thinks. Can you use her name? Can you use her celebrity? Well, of course she's going to want you to do that because it'll help sell her house, and that's what her ultimate goal is. So long story short, they got an article in the Washington Post all about, the Terminator sells her property. And not only did the listing eventually sell, but that realtor got a buyer that day from that article that came out, and they bought $1 million farm.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah. So just little things like that. Is it a historic property? Does it have history? Is it green? Is it, we just show you lots of ways to make yourself newsworthy and be that realtor in the community that, if they need to write an article about that, you're the one they go to, so you're just constantly in the press.
So it basically sounds like what you're doing is taking a unique, which could also be called a hard-to-sell listing, and turning it into an advantage by getting marketing out of it. That's a great idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So let's just say a real estate agent is listening right now. Do you have any ideas for somebody that doesn't even say that they want to generate listing inventory? Do you have any ideas on what they could do to go out and start getting just publicity for themselves as a real estate agent?
Right, absolutely. You want to establish yourself as that expert in the industry. Barbara Corcoran, I don't know if you know the whole story behind her, not just the Shark Tank person, but her business was failing, her real estate business in New York. She was $350,000 in debt, and she took her 11 sales that she had that year and averaged them together and sent letters to all the real estate writers at the New York Times and said, hey, the average price of homes in New York is falling, and they published it, according to Barbara Corcoran of the Corcoran Group. So take those statistics and create story ideas. I use the example I had seen on my local NBC about the county that I live in, how overcrowded our classrooms were becoming. And the first thing I thought of is, if I'm a realtor, I'm going to pitch, well, what does that mean for property values in this county versus the neighboring two counties? The value is going to go down. So what can you do? And the more you're out there, people who are thinking to list are going to think, oh, wow, okay, well, this person's in the media a lot. They must be the best. They must be the expert in the industry. And that's who I want to work with.
So you're reading, for example, the local newspaper, seeing an article that might not be directly related to, say, real estate. And you're saying to reach out to the reporter of that article, like an add-on article?
Absolutely, as a follow-up
Yes.
story, sure.
Huh.
It's a great idea.
Yep.
Wow, so simple.
I told you about the ebook, but I give lots of ideas in there, using the non-traditional calendar to pitch things, like Senior Citizen Day. Well, talk about boomers. What's the trend in boomers? Are they going to retirement communities? Are they, selling the big houses, moving to condos? Just something like that. National Lawn and Garden Day. What's the trend in outdoor design? What will help sell a house? Is it worth putting that backyard barbecue in there and the outdoor kitchen, that kind of thing? But there's so many different things that are related to real estate, but not directly real estate.
Yep.
That you can get yourself in the media.
Wow, and it seems like if you get good at pitching, that eventually you become a source, so that with certain like magazines or newspapers, they're actually calling you looking for a story. Does that happen?
Absolutely. You have to remember, our media now is 24/7, 365. So if a journalist has a good source that they know, let me pick up the phone. Let me call Christina real quick and see what she thinks about this, because I know she's always there. I have her cell phone number. I know she always gives me great quotes. So yes, they will start to reach out to you for that.
Wow, that's awesome. So anybody that just tuned in, we're talking to Christina Daves from PR for Anyone. You can check her out at prforanyone.com, or you can get free tips on getting new clients at gmctips.com. So
I have a question. You talk in your bio about running 5 companies over the last 20 years. Are you still running all of them?
No.
Good.
But we did just add another one to that. I've partnered with a social media strategist, and we have Get Seen, Be Heard, which is where this realtor program has come in, and we're doing a lot of stuff for small businesses just because we started working together, and what we found is when you combine a social media strategy with a DIY PR strategy, it goes much faster, and you're much louder, and people take notice a lot quicker.
Have you used Muck Rack?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I didn't even know.
I haven't heard of that before.
So basically, I've built my entire business by writing articles. So for the last 10 years, I interview CEOs, business leaders, celebrities, athletes. I do in-person interviews and interview them about how they built their business. So I literally have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles. So Muck Rack sent me an email. They sent me up as a journalist on there. But basically it's a site with all these journalists from all over the world and all different types of platforms. And it's for, like, if you want to go find somebody to write an article or a piece for you, you can put in like real estate or where you like what platform you want to be featured in and find the journalist.
And they'll write it for you.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
It's for pitching, basically. Am I correct, Christina?
Yeah, and I tell people to use it to find out who's writing about what's trending.
Yes.
So you can see if there's a hot topic, they have like the water cooler and those kinds of things, but you can see what journalists are writing about what topics. And obviously, like, real estate is a hot topic.
Right.
So you can see, and that way you can connect with those journalists as well on Twitter and, get to know them, become a warm lead for them just by connecting on social media.
Wow, that's awesome. Have you ever thought about just starting your own PR company? Since you're so good at it, do it for everybody else.
Oh, yeah, but again, it's like the PR firms say that there's no guarantee.
Right.
You don't know what the media is looking for. So I would rather train people. Like, I'll go to corporations and actually train their PR departments or their marketing departments how they can regularly pitch their own business, and that way you've got people doing other things in your company as well, but they're passionate about your company and
yes,
have great success doing it themselves.
Huh. That's awesome. So for anybody listening, instead of going out getting a PR company, which I know from experience can cost anywhere from, say, $2,000 to $10,000 a month, depending how big your company is, and months might go by where you really get no PR. So take the bull by the horns and learn how to pitch yourself, become your best pitcher for your business in order to create your own PR. So we only have about 2 minutes left. If you could give us one more tip for our listeners on how to generate new clients for their business.
Right, and one thing I would love to do, because there's so much information in it, is to give the link for the ebook for realtors.
Okay.
Because that's one great way to do it, is read that ebook. But GetSeenBeHeardNow.com/realtors.
Get seen. One more time. Get seen. Be heard.
GetSeenBeHeardNow.com/realtors.
Excellent. And we'll post that on our site for anybody listening if you weren't able to get that because you were driving. But go ahead. Give us your tip.
No, but the next thing would be social media. Get on Twitter and find those journalists, especially the local ones, and just don't pitch on Twitter, but start engaging with them. Saw your story on the news tonight. It was great. Oh, love this. Have you thought about this? Anything like that, so they start to recognize you and start to see you, so that when you do pitch, they're going to know who you are.
Excellent. Great tip.
That's awesome. All right. This is Christina Daves. You can check her out at prforanyone.com. Thank you for joining us and for all of the tips. I'm going to get to work on pitching myself for some articles this afternoon. So thank you.
There you go. Great. Okay. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Christina. That's going to do it for this edition of Get Real, but we'll be back again next weekend with more.